Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so very much for joining MLGW's first Power Pivot webinar. The Power Pivot is a new online series where we will talk to Memphis area small businesses and hear their stories about how they have pivoted to a new normal in this pandemic. Local industry experts will join us to give advice in areas such as finance, accounting, marketing, real estate, small business grants, legal issues, health, safety, and energy savings. So all the Zoom attendees, please put your questions in the Q&A section. Facebook attendees, write your comments where you see the comment section on your device. So today we're going to focus on Girlee's Restaurant. Miss Jimmie Cotton and Anita Leach, they're owners, and they have been in business for about 35 years. We have Miss Shelley Madison of Ideal Business Solutions, which is an accounting and bookkeeping service and has worked with various small businesses and nonprofits. Ms. Madison also serves as the finance manager of Code Crew. Also with us today is Ms. Shawn Karol Sandy, who is the CEO of the Selling Agency, which works with small to mid-sized businesses to develop sales strategies and solutions. So, Ms. Madison, Shelley, could you give us a little bit of information about what you do and how you work with businesses to help them with the solutions that they need to restore themselves or to become successful, and also with how you helping businesses during this pandemic time?
Yes, thank you for having me. As you mentioned, provide accounting and bookkeeping services for both for-profit and nonprofit organizations. Most of my clientele happens to be nonprofit. So I do their, monthly, quarterly, annual reporting. I file their taxes. I ensure that they're in compliance with local and state and, like I said, again, federal entities. And what was your other question? I'm sorry.
How are you working with businesses? Are they coming to you? How are you helping them to get on their feet or stay on their feet? Because a lot of businesses throughout, not just Memphis, Shelby County, but throughout this country are having major financial problems. Many businesses have gone out of business, and some are not expecting them to come back. So now that Memphis and Shelby County has allowed some of the businesses to start back opening, they are still facing challenges. So what advice do you give them? How are you working with them?
Well, and you're absolutely right. Businesses of every measure have been affected by this pandemic and even disrupted. So the clientele that I work with, of course, I don't typically get to go and see them like I used to. So I've had to adjust to seeing them via Zoom. Everything is being done electronically for the most part. Some of the advice that I've had to give to newer clients, or I've had to catch them up with some of their financial reporting. The clientele that I already have, they were already, caught up. So any grants or loans or what have you, PPP forgivable loans, rather, they'd have to apply for. We already had the paperwork ready. Some other businesses, I had to go ahead and build their books for them so that they could be eligible to apply. So for the most part, I haven't had any clientele to just go out of business, but some have, of course, slowed down. Some don't receive the revenue that they were accustomed to receiving, and that has affected their staffing. But I do recommend to my clientele, even if they do have to reduce their staffing or reduce their pay or salary or what have you, take good care of your employees. Also, stay in touch with your customers. And especially in the beginning of COVID, where some, probably even the restaurant, for example, probably was not able to, well, they weren't able to serve anyone inside. So they had to make the necessary adjustments. and even probably scale back their menus or whatever, which did affect revenue, and I'm sure it's still affecting revenue. Um, but another thing that I have to say is for them to adjust the priorities like they have been, and serve the community on a smaller scale, which I'm sure they've had to do. And although we're in a difficult situation, going through these difficult times, try to find balance. And also eventually, I just believe we have to, we'll come out on the other side. So they'll have to just remain optimistic and resilient.
Okay, so let me ask you,
Hmm.
during this time in your work with some of your clients,
Hmm.
what was, give us an example of one of the most challenging cases you've had to deal with.
My personal clientele was preparing them, some of them, for the PPP and the EIDL loans. Some clientele, like I said, I had to build just a few of them, not very many. I had to actually build their books for them. So that might have been a delay in them applying, because I had to prepare them for it. Um, Sometimes the challenge is, rarely though, that they have to stay current with their filings, their local, their state, their federal, because those documents are requested, as well as the financial reports. So those have been some of the biggest challenges. And even some clientele, like I said, they're having to scale back with their employees, some adjust the pay, maybe even lay off some. And it's just the reality of a lot of companies currently. So those have been some of the biggest challenges.
Okay, so you did mention PPE.
Mm-hmm.
So was that
Yeah, I'm sorry. Mm-hmm.
so was that really helpful? The monies that came with that, was that really helpful after these
Absolutely.
counties had been closed for several months?
Absolutely. And I didn't have any clientele that closed, but that forgivable loan grant, uh, absolutely helpful, and especially for payroll purposes. Uh, Most of my clientele have only needed it for the payroll purposes, but some could use it for like the mortgage or the rent for their businesses. And excellent record keeping is mandatory, so that they are not later penalized,
And penalized meaning they may
having to pay it back. Yeah.
okay, so thank you so very much for sharing that with us. So, Miss Sandy, so you work with businesses to develop sales strategies and solutions. Could you give us tell us exactly what is it that you do with these businesses?
I'm happy to. Thanks, Gail, and happy to be here with the Leach family and the Girlee's Soul Food team and everyone else here. So I built a selling agency. It's not a marketing agency, it's a selling agency. So we coach humans how to sell to other humans, because selling like robots or jerks is like so 1999. It's just, no one wants to be hard sold or closed and all those awful manipulative techniques that many people have had a bad experience with salespeople. We just throw that out the window. Make it so, our philosophy is that selling is a service. It's the first place you have to offer value to someone is to help them make decisions. Ultimately, that's what selling is. And I don't care if you're a restaurant, if you're a hair salon, if you're a Fortune 500 company, you need to know how to service people through the process of selling. So we work with clients, small and mid-size, and if you have a sales team, we help build your sales strategy, your go-to-market strategy, and then train the sales team to build skills around executing that, not just technique, but real skills around executing a strategy, and then do individual skills gap coaching with the sales team members. And then if you're a smaller business, say with just 1 to 50 people in it, you have a strategy too. A restaurant should have a sales strategy. A hair salon should have a hair strategy, should have a sales strategy. Everyone should have a strategy. And it's quite simply this: knowing without a doubt who your customers are, where they are, and showing up consistently speaking in a language that brings your value to them in a way that's valuable. That is, in a nutshell, your sales strategy and process together. So it looks different for every business. We don't do anything cookie cutter here, but it's really about understanding how to deeply connect with your customers. And through that process, you differentiate what you have to offer. People choose you and your business because of how they feel about you, because of how you make them feel about you. So we bring that to light and then really train everyone in the organization to understand that. Something that you're not going to hear in a lot of places is something we do called build the selling organization. I believe so firmly that everyone in your business, whether it's the cashier or it's the salesperson or the person who sends out invoices, everyone in your business, if they get a paycheck in your business, is part of the selling organization, needs to understand who our customers are, how we treat our customers, how to deliver an experience to our customers, and understand their part and their role and their opportunity, their obligation to participate in their company's success. So we help our clients build selling organizations too, and that's a lot of building experiences from when people walk in the door or see you on Facebook to receive a product or service, the end result. It's really about how you make people feel, whether you're in a business to business environment or a business to consumer environment. Everyone should have a really strong selling organization.
So how do people, small businesses, know about you or even know about the need that you express, that companies need to help them excel?
Mm-hmm. Well, so part of the advice I'm going to give to the Leach family today, I mean, Girlee's, is some of my own advice. And that's, you've got to not just be present and not just put information out there when you need something from people, not just sell to people when you need something from people. You've got to consistently tell people who you are, what you do, and how you do it. If you go to my website, thesellingagency.com, it doesn't look like a sales business trainer's website. There's a big old fat picture of my face on it. I've got a skunk on it. Like, it's a lot of my personality, because when you see that, and when you read my social media posts, when you read the blog posts, and then you meet me in person, it's all congruent. It's all a preview of what it's like to work with me. Because what that does is it pulls people in, it pulls people closer. They say, oh, she's funny, or oh, she's sassy, or I like her, or I don't like her. It's a pre-qualifier. So for instance, with a restaurant, it's, what's the environment like? What can people expect when they walk in the door? What do other people say about it? Everything is really showing people what kind of experience they could expect when they work with you.
Oh, that's wonderful. That kind of sounds like coaching.
Oh, it is.
And I just really never thought about it for businesses, even though I do know about marketing and branding, but the actual training part that you provide to the staff to make sure that the excellent service, because I'm gonna tell you, excellent service, it makes a world of difference.
It does.
Even if the product or the service is just mediocre, but if I get really, really good service, I will remember that business.
Yeah, I will tell you, if you are in a business that has a service team, anyone outside of yourself that touches the customer, double down on investing in how to communicate with your customers, how to create experiences, because it's a huge differentiator. It's just a huge differentiator. And honestly, you said coaching. Yes, what we do is coaching, and the skills we're building, so much of it's communication. Being great at selling, those skills are really good life skills. Being great at customer service, those are really good life skills. So what we do is very personal when it comes to helping people improve those skills. It's at a very personal level. That's why I say it's not technique or manipulation. It's really about a personal level. Trying to get adult humans to change their behavior is very difficult. It is coaching and it is training.
Yeah, and actually, like yesterday, for example, I went to a small business, and the service that I provide, I never know who I'm going to get, and sometimes they ask me, well, do you want the same person you used before? And I never really said no, but the service that I received from this particular person yesterday, I will ask for that person each time and I always tip good, and I tip extra when they're very, very good.
Mhm.
So service is really important. It really, really does matter. And like years ago when Comcast was Time Warner, I used to be so angry with them. I would be so angry with them. But by the time somebody finally got on the phone, they were so nice. So
Yeah.
service, service is very, very important. I toned out everything when they were nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Table wasn't working.
Selling is service. Yep, yep. You got it.
Okay, so we're going to go to the wonderful Leach family that have been around for so very long. I met this family. I left Federal Express in 2000. So I've been gone 20 years, and I've known them before then. And when I first met them, I mean, it was a family-oriented business. Everyone was just so nice. I'm like, oh my God, I would come from Whitehaven all the way to Watkins because they were on Watkins then. But they provide the best service. They know their customers. The food is just, it's just amazing. So they've been around 35 years, and that's a long time for a small business to be in business and to be as successful as they have been. So today we have on the show, we have Miss Jimmie May Cotton. And so let me tell y'all this. So the business that they had on Watkins was called Melanie's. So all these years, I thought Miss Jimmie's name was Melanie, and nobody told me her name was not Melanie. So I just found out like a year or two ago that her name is Miss Jimmie. I was looking at her husband's program. I said, "Why they calling her Jimmie in here?" So anyway, but see, that show you how kind they were. They didn't even correct me. So, and then we have the amazing Anita, who knows everybody who comes in to the business. I mean, they know folks on their first name. She knows your order when you call in or you come in. And then we got Theo back there, who provides amazing service as well. I mean, it's just a family-oriented business, and people who go there have been going there for years, and they love this restaurant and they love the family. So they, like many businesses in Memphis, Shelby County, and everywhere, have had challenges during the thanks to Ms. Rona, I call her, pandemic time. So could you each share some information with them to help them through some of the bad times they've been going through, like other restaurants who shut down for so many months? We want to start with you, Miss Madison.
Okay, so like I said initially, of course, employees are some of the main priorities, and then your customers, the communication with them, vendors, your partners, and if you have to, this pandemic has forced most of us to make almost some forced decisions. So you have to react. Don't delay your decision making about what's best for your establishment. Also, I keep reiterating this because I am an accountant and it's very important. You have to keep up with the legislation. And through this pandemic, it seems like the rules and the laws somehow change every week, and that they're not always sure, but you do have to keep up with the legislation because it's ever changing. You get advice from, official sources, your bankers, your accountants, government sources, other professionals in your field or in your business, the restaurant business. So yeah, that's the advice that I would give for just about any type of establishment.
Okay, so you mentioned just now, and also earlier when you were talking, and I've learned over
I
the years.
can't hear you.
Well, you mentioned taxes. So
Mm-hmm.
over the years, I've heard one of the challenges for many small businesses is getting their state taxes in on time. How critical that is.
Mm-hmm. Because they will face penalties, interest and penalties as a result. And you want to provide your own timely accounting, your sales and use taxes for certain. Um, because you don't want those added costs. And I have recall where one restaurant, it's been years, but here in the state, here in the city of Memphis, wrongly and without the help of an accountant or professional, they were wrongly reporting their sales, their food, their alcohol. And when that happens, the state will force an audit. And a lot of times they will come up with what they think your sales were and what you should have been reporting to them. And in that particular instance, you know, I had to go back in and build those books for that particular restaurant, and thankfully was able to save the restaurant a quarter of what the state said that they owed to them. So that's very, very important to have those.
You provide.
Say that again.
That's a valuable service that you provide that I'm sure they found most beneficial.
Oh gosh, yeah. But it unfortunately that was a hard lesson, and they did not remain in business. It was just way too difficult. It had gotten out of hand that they weren't able to. But definitely those state filings, those state sales and use and franchise and excise taxes, they absolutely should be paid timely, for sure.
Okay, so Miss Sandy, before we go back to you, because of what your focus is, I would really like to go to Miss Jimmie, Anita, and Theo, and let them tell our viewing audience, tell us your story, how you got started. I remember reading, well, I guess I won't tell it, but I remember reading about how you got started, Miss Jimmie, with your family and everybody giving up their jobs to make it a family business. So could you just tell us about who you all are and how you got started?
Well, I got started, first of all, good evening. I got started through that selling cakes for our church. My son had a little church, and I began to sell cakes. We did so well at the cakes, I decided that maybe we could open up a little business, which I thought I was opening up a bakery, but I couldn't find a place for a bakery. So Grover Jones said, I have a place for a restaurant. So we looked at Anita and we looked at it, so we went for it. And when I opened my business, I opened it with $800 master charge card. We started from there. And it began to grow. We didn't have to do any advertising or anything.
So your first location was on Watkins, right?
Right. On Watkins.
And so, so you moved from desserts to full lunch menu, right?
Right.
So Nita, you want to share some information with us about the business?
Well, I pretty much said it.
Well, tell us some of the challenges.
I have a question that might help.
Okay.
So I think I know, but let's articulate, why do people love going to Girlee's? What do they love about you, the food? Tell me what they love about it.
What they love about it is they love my mama and they love the food. And mama always tell her, whatever we do it with our heart. And we cook with love, so the customer love our mother. And we are people, we like to talk and interact with our customers. So that's a big thing with the restaurant.
Mm-hmm. So even in just that one little example, it's so much easier to show people how you do it and why you do it than to tell people what you do, right? Right? Because your face lit up, and a big change when you talk about your mom. Everyone loves Miss Jimmie May, and last time people walk through the door, that's a big difference. That's what people want to know.
Well, we greet our customer with love, and I get a hug from most of them. And we treat everybody the same. Everybody is somebody. Even the beggar on the street, we treat them with love because they are somebody.
And that's what keeps people coming back, right?
I believe so.
The love and the food.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the food, we have to eat. I mean, it might as well be delicious.
It is delicious.
And there are some people who actually eat there every day. And so when, when with the pandemic, a number of the restaurants shut down and, because everybody had to shut down so we could try to be safe. And so many people, Miss Jimmie, kept calling me, texting me, Gail, when is Miss Girlee going to open back up? When is Girlee going to open back up? And Cliff D. Berry, he loves your turkey necks. And I mean, it's just amazing the admiration that, that you all receive in the community and you all give it back. So could you all explain to us or talk to us about some of the challenges that you've had during the pandemic? Reopening and what did all that what all took place with that?
Well, when we reopened, which was on the 8th of this month.
8th of September. That was my birthday, Miss Girlee. Miss Jimmie.
Okay.
When we reopened, they was ready for us. And the business just went on mostly as usual. But we just have a little problem because no sitting, a lot of them like to sit around. So they could do that.
Okay, so you still aren't, people are not able to go in and sit down, so you are fixing the lunches. People are calling orders in and they're driving around. So do you still have the same level of volume? Or have you lost any business or?
Yes. Yeah, because they don't like that stand out and wait. We have the curbside and the come and pick up and delivery.
Oh, so you do delivery also?
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow, that's amazing. Okay, so how are you all getting the word out?
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
Facebook, word of mouth.
Okay. Can I jump in here?
Mhm.
I was just about to ask you, what do you recommend
Yes.
for them? How can they reach their customers? How can they increase at least their business back to the level prior to the pandemic?
Right. When so many businesses had to shut the doors, the ones you could see really struggled are businesses that didn't have a lot of ways to communicate or any other ways to communicate with people other than them walking through the door, which is, I'm assuming, where you're like, that's where the problem ensued. So, in steps social media, this is where I'm going to suggest you create your pivot strategy around communicating via Facebook. I looked on your Facebook page. First of all, you have 2 pages, and this happens to a lot of folks. And there is a way on Facebook to where you can combine those to one page, and it will redirect people to the one page you want it to be. Because between the 2 pages, you have nearly 5,000 followers. Imagine if, a tenth of those came to visit you weekly, right? That's some great revenue. Mm-hmm. So there's people that are leveraging Facebook for information, entertainment. Sometimes people look for businesses, restaurants, hours. They'll look on Facebook first before they even go out to the general internet. So it's free. It's magically free. So, rather than doing anything complicated or spending a lot of money on advertising, I always say, let's start with free first. Mm-hmm. Let's start with free first. So you already have this many people that have, gone to the effort of saying, I like this business on Facebook. Anytime you post anything, it's like walking into their phone. Anytime you post anything, it's like walking into their phone and giving them a message. So why not? Let's leverage this very free, awesome tool to communicate with people. And you can do it in a way that's strategic, like telling people what you're going to have. We'll get into a little bit about creating a strategy around, hey, which do you like better, pork chops or meatloaf? and then you know what to serve Thursday, right? Or, you know, what's your favorite Thanksgiving side? And then people check in with you about what they love on Thanksgiving. And then all of a sudden you're promoting that you're selling that as a side dish for Thanksgiving, taking pre-orders. So you have a very low risk of losing any money on something because you know exactly how much food to purchase, right? So there is a lot you can do to invest in building your audience on Facebook. If you can't be together face to face, start thinking that as a way to tell your stories. People love stories, don't they? I mean, people love an underdog story. They love a hero story. They love a story rich with history and family. And you guys have all that packaged together. I've seen a little bit of it on your Facebook page. You've got a little press, little PR and stuff like that. But if I had to pick one place for you to really invest your time and energy, it's to create a strategy to consistently post and reach out to people on Facebook. When someone comments, hey, thanks, tell your friends. You can ask people to support you on Facebook, meaning, hey, if you love our food, take a picture next time you're here and share it. And what it does is it acts like a multiplier. Anytime someone shares where they've eaten and they take a great picture. People love to take pictures of beautiful food. It's a thing. You all know it. So anytime anyone shares that, you have an opportunity to reach people who didn't know about you because they're on their Facebook page, right? So it's a multiplier. And I tell you what, the first thing to go when we get busy is usually our communication strategy and a sales strategy. So what I would say for you is you need to decide who is your chief sales officer, who's going to be the one to do this. Not that they don't need help, but if Anita, if that's you, you know, create a content calendar to say, okay, well, we're so many weeks away from Thanksgiving. What's the date that we're going to start promoting Thanksgiving sides? What's the date we cut off? Okay, well, we're going to start promoting Christmas hams. When do we start doing that? Like, get ahead of the game so that you can have a game plan and you're not just leaving it to chance of people walking in. You know, I was thinking about all the different things that I see that you do offer catering. It says catering on the website. What if people didn't know that without going to your website? What if next time you catered something, you took a picture of it and you asked the person who had the catering to share it on Facebook with their audience? It's such a multiplier. That's going to be a big, big game changer to getting people in the door, just to let people know why people love your food, tell little snippets of the story, get ahead of holidays and events and things like that. Hey, did you know we can cater your funeral? Hey, did you know we could do a family meal for XYZ? Whatever it is you do on the daily basis, think about ways you can sort of change up that revenue stream. So if you can get any orders ahead of time, you get cash flow in, you're not risking the inventory. Think about the different places where you can do that and get people to order ahead of time, meet you there, share your story, leave reviews. If people love you, they love your story, they will do that for you. They want to support your business. You just kind of have to give them a little nudge.
Thank you so much for that. Miss Jimmie and Anita and Theo, do you have any questions for Miss Madison or Miss Sandy?
Yes, really, our business can grow even bigger, but it's just the idea of that at the small place location that we're in now. It's real small, that it's a certain amount of food we can cook or people can come in where we can serve the public. Like at Melanie, we had room, you know what I'm saying? We're in the process of trying to get that back open where we have the room to serve the public. We just don't have the room. Everything she said about promoting these Thanksgiving dinners and stuff like that, we already in the process. We're doing that, but it's just the idea of it's limited to what we can do into the small places that we have.
Right. So you kind of need an interim plan in order to be able to get the cash flow to move to another location.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we own Melanie's. That's our building.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just
Watkins.
on Watkins. That's our building there. So we trying to get back there, ma'am. Our properties. So we are trying to go back.
Okay. So, Ms. Madison, would you have anything to
I can't hear you.
would you have any suggestion on the finance side as they try to build their business and move back to a property that they already own?
I do agree with a lot of the advice that Shawn shared with them. I was nodding my head as she was speaking. I'm not into the sales and marketing part, but I definitely do agree with that, with what she was saying. And yeah, uh, nothing else business related that I haven't already mentioned.
Okay, so, well, thank you so very much. Before we do close, I do have to say that we have one question, and they want to know, the person who asked the question, when do you all serve chitlins? I already know the answer because you know I get them.
On Friday.
On Friday. Do they have to call in early? Do they have to call in the day before? Because I know
Call in
sometimes
early.
you call early. So what are your hours?
Tuesday through Friday, 11 to 4.
Okay.
And many times we get around out of food before 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, it's limited in that place where we are now. And even to the catering and stuff, we have to cut off.
Mhm.
Say if we get so many orders, we have to cut the orders off because
So
we have so many.
to that end, if you're in the one location, but you own the other building, and if I understand correctly, you're trying to get back into that other building.
Right.
Is it functional to, with a kitchen and et cetera?
Yes.
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 I mean, could that be your catering kitchen for the time being? I'm just trying to think of
Oh,
different.
no.
Okay.
We have
So-
the plans to go, we have the plans being drawn up.
Okay.
So
So it's not functional yet.
yes, it's not
It
functional.
was a fire up there several years ago and kind of
Okay.
closed it down. Had a,
Okay.
yeah, so that's why.
Hmm.
Yeah, but it was a larger location.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, if you've not met with anyone, to talk about some different funding sources or loans or something, I'm thinking, like crowdsourcing Girlee's reopening or something, get a piece of Girlee's history. I don't know. But there might be some, Gale and Shelley might even have some good resources for you to reach out to do some unconventional or creative funding, just because, the straight up bank loans are fine, but there are a lot of other ways to fund things these days too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I want to see it happen.
Yeah, we're gonna try all kind of sources, to help us out, but we just can't, can't get no help nowhere.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions of me?
Shelley?
Not Miss Girly, Miss Jimmie. Yeah, you rubbed off on me. Do you all have any questions of me?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, so if you could give the hours one more time, and what is your address? What are your hours one more time, and what is your address?
Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 4 o'clock.
Okay.
Address is
29.
29 Chelsea Avenue.
Okay, so now they're during these times and people can't sit in and they have to drive around. Should they call in, or should they place the order as they drive in?
They call in.
Call in early, 7 o'clock in the morning
Oh,
to place
great.
your order. And a lot of time, right now, the best time is between 7 and 9:30, because after that we have to kind of cut off because of the outdoors customers coming in, because you can only get about 8 in. And so we have to cut off the call in. So best between 7 and 9:30.
So we're gonna have to close now, and before closing, I do want to give a shout out to staff, Terica Lamb, who is the manager of economic and community development, and Cynthia Haley, who also works in economic and community development at Memphis Light, Gas and Water. And they came up with this idea because they wanted to provide valuable, helpful financial and marketing and other kinds of information to small businesses as we try to, get accustomed to the new normal. I don't know if we'll ever go back to the old normal. If we do, it'll be so far from now, but we have to make things work in the normal that we're in. And so Memphis Light Gas and Water and staff, we're doing all that we can to work with our customers and help our customers in any way that we can. So I just want to thank you all for, you know, Miss Madison, Miss Sandy, for coming on, sharing your levels of expertise with this family, this business. And I want to thank you all and wish you all much success, Miss Jimmie and Anita and Theo. And again, thank you, Tarek and Cynthia. And thank you, Darren, because we can't do what we do with all of these new normal Zoom meetings that we do without Darren Sharp, who works in IS. He's amazing. So anyway, thanks everyone. Mask up, social distance. And
Yes.
all righty. Thank you all.
Thank you,
All right,
Bye-bye.
thank you all.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you too.
Bye.
All right.